This is more shameless product plugs for things that work. This is a misto. This is an olive oil mister. And when you're on the barbecue and you're trying to get a good, you basically, this guy, you fill it with whatever olive oil you want and then you pump it up and take the lid off. And it's just like your olive oil in a bottle, like the Pam spray, except you can use any kind of good olive oil you want. You can use organic olive oil. You can use the kind of stuff that you just can't normally find in a can that's sprayed. And you're not talking about any propellants other than compressed air from pumping the lid. So when you're making tacos on your barbecue, you know, get yourself some of this misto and you're gonna have some special tacos. We're about to do another test of this Octanium fuel additive. This car is making pretty good horsepower. This is through an automatic transmission, 358 horse. The torque number is fake. Like the tack pickup's not working. It doesn't. Subarus are hit and miss on the tack pickup. So you got to look at the actual torque number is probably somewhere closer to around this 350, 360 foot-pound mark where the torque converter comes to full lock. But this is on a Blouch 440 XTR turbo, and that was on 92 octane pump gas. So now we're going to pour this Octanium in here, and this does have a built level 10 4-speed auto, sorry, I think it's a 5-speed auto in it. It's a 2009 Legacy GT. So we're going to see what it does with a little Octanium. And what I'm going to do first is just get the fuel to mix, not make any changes to the tune, and just see how far we can bump up that minimum best window. And my guess is it's going to pick up 10 to 15 horse without any tune changes at all. And then we'll give it another couple of pounds of boost and probably 2 or 3 degrees more timing and see where she lands. If we're lucky, we're going to get her over 400 horse to the wheels through one of these autos, which will be pretty spectacular. One thing I recommend is don't just pour this straight into the gas tank. It takes forever to mix if you do that. If you've got a gallon or so of gas, you can see I've got just a little bit of gas in this one. Mix it in with that first. These are an absolute nightmare to open. Well, that wasn't as bad as some of the other ones. It's the Torco that's a nightmare to open. So put the cap back on, give it a little shake. We don't know what's in here, so let's just get it to mix up. They tell you on the back of the thing to shake it, so we're going to do that. Now we're just going to pour it in, and this is the leaded stuff. This car, these Legacy GTs they're not as critical as far as oxygen sensors go, so you can run leaded fuel through them. You don't want to run it all the time, but you can. This is for race use only, obviously, so let's make sure that doesn't fall in there. All right, there's a whole can. Now the car's got about a half a tank in there, plus this gallon. Should be pretty close to 10 gallons. You know, exact science. You can see this stuff makes the gas turn blue. And you give that a little swirl. All right, now we're just going to go pour it in the tank. Oh, this little thing's broken. Alright, now let's go start her up and let this fuel mix in. And we're going to give it a few minutes to mix. This is a return style system, so it is constantly churning the tank. I'm just going to drive the car on the dyno a little bit. I'm going to grab the control box, but just to help it mix. as I started doing pulls, I quickly developed a misfire, and I figured it was probably just to do with, let's see if we get that to focus. I figured it probably was just to do with plug gap, and certainly these plugs are definitely worn, but look at how much deposit is on these after just a few pulls on the dyno. Now this is this one here, the leaded. The one I used the other day in the other video was the unleaded. The unleaded one definitely didn't deposit like that. I'm thinking maybe I don't like this leaded one, so we're going to put new plugs in here and see what it does. If we don't pick up power, I might drain this fuel and try it on the unleaded and see if we get our power back. Be an interesting test with these fuel injected cars if they just don't like this leaded additive. So, get new plugs. Old busted, new hotness. Same plugs, same LFR7. Sorry, these are LFR6s. We're not running a temp colder in this car yet. I don't really like running the colder plugs. They do help a little bit with detonation, but you can even see on these where they were worn. Come on, focus. Focus. Where it's worn isn't clear out at the tip, it's actually back a little bit, which means it's burning good. It's just old and worn, aside from the deposits. So I'm going to gap these down just a hair for the additional boost that it's running, and then slam them in. Alright, for the verdict, there we were at 363 horse and that funny 427 fake torques. But now, a little bit more boost. Oops, I hit it. There it is. Boom! This is on the Octanium, and this is the leaded stuff with new plugs. So 409 horse, 454 foot-pounds of fake torque. Now the torque is actually probably more real on this pole. You can see, typically on the autos, the converter flashes and then it kind of falls off, and that's when you're doing a wheel speed match instead of a actual RPM pickup. But at about 3,800, these things lock up. So at 3,800, we are at 452 foot-pounds of torque, which is going to be obscene. Boost-wise, it's a lot, but we're up to 25, almost 26 pounds now. So we did run a little bit more boost, but not a ton. We're only 3 pounds more boost, and we're picking up, a good 50 more horse, 45 more horse. So it's definitely happier just in general. So yeah, this is an automatic transmission car. This might be the most power I've made through an auto on the dyno. Pretty close at least. If I've made more, it was on a full-out race car. I mean, obviously I made more on the Paradox rear-wheel drive race car, but that's not the same. But yeah, so over 400 horse through an auto, this thing should dip out. That's, like I said before, I got my sweet Link face mask. That's on this leaded Octanium. It does leave some deposit on the plugs. Wouldn't recommend it on a street car. Obviously it's leaded, so it's not the best for the environment and whatnot, but it definitely picked up a lot of power. And this isn't even maxed necessarily. I just I don't really want to push it. This is a street car, so this guy wants to be able to drive it every day. So this is Sport Sharp. It does have multi-boost. Regular sport mode is about 330 horse on about 18 pounds. So look at that. Octanium. It works.
Just like that, a little Easter themed deviled eggs, tacos. Yum yum.
So see all this beautiful food. Aside from these Mission tortillas, everything on this plate is purchased from local farmers. The eggs, the chicken, the lettuce we grew in our garden. Tomatoes aren't ready yet in our garden, but they came local. Everything you can buy local instead of going to the grocery store, putting yourself at risk, is going to help out. So helping local farmers. Even these avocados, these are American grown. Everything here, I don't know where the salsa came from. It's probably from, it's Mexicana. But yeah, try to get everything you can locally. Keep yourself out of the grocery store, keep yourself healthy, and you can have some amazing food. I mean, look at this, look at the yolks in that deviled egg. You don't get yolks like that at the grocery store. That comes straight from a farm. Thanks for watching. Have a happy Easter, everybody.